So, hello from wherever you're watching, and welcome to BMO 101. Today, we'll be taking a closer look at a topic that is important to a lot of you. We're talking about those people who actually took up a policy and it ran for a certain number of years. It could have been maybe 4 years. The policy was meant to run either for life or for 12 years, but you only had it for 4 years, and after that, it was impossible for you to continue with the same. It could have been due to the fact that you lost a job. It could have been, for example, that you just, felt that it wasn't for you. Yeah. So, what are some of the options available for you, and what can you actually do to try and recover some of the money that you indeed put into the policy? So, today we'll be trying to look at the same, and hopefully by the end of the video, you will have an idea of some of the things that, or some of the actions that you can, or some of the steps that you can actually take to recover some of the money that you put in. Right? Yeah. It is first of all very important for you to understand that there are different types of life insurance policies. Specifically, there are four different types of life insurance policies, and whether and also how much money you could probably recover from your policy will depend on the type of policy that you actually took up. Yeah, there are the four types, like I told you, and we will go through each of the types to actually see what are some of the options available for you. So the very first type of insurance policy I would like us to look at is what we call a whole life policy. Now, with a whole life policy, the policy will typically run, yeah, like the name suggests, for the entirety of your life. Yeah, you'll be paying premiums for um, the whole time. Some companies do make arrangements or do offer that upon attaining a certain age, maybe 60 or 65, then you will not have to pay any more premiums. But upon death, yeah, your beneficiaries will receive the sum assured. So the main idea behind the whole life policy is that it is meant to be active for the entirety of your life. These policies are mainly taken up by people who want to leave some financial security to their beneficiaries. Yeah. So if you had taken up a whole life policy and it was difficult for you to actually continue with the same, there are very there's a very little chance that you can recover anything from the same from a whole life policy in terms of your monetary or your financial contributions. There won't be, I don't think there will be any type of refunds that you will receive. And in fact, one of the best and I think only option available for you is to reinstate the policy with your insurer. So you can visit your insurer and try and reinstate the policy if it's still possible for you to do so. You can also perhaps talk to your insurer and request that they can, restructure the policy, maybe reduce the sum assured so that it will be convenient or rather affordable for you to continue with the same. So that is a whole life policy. Yeah. So after the whole life policy, we have what we call a term assurance policy. Now, this is exactly the same like a whole life policy, except it doesn't go for your entire life. It will mainly go for like a certain term. It could be 12 years, it could be 16 years, it could be 20 years. The thing is, it will go for a certain period of time. Now, if you had taken up uh, this types, this or rather this type of policy at term assurance, they're mainly taken up by people who have a loan, for example. Yeah, you have a loan, and the loan will be running for this specific period of time. It could be the 12 years. So you take up a term assurance policy for 12 years, and it will pay off your loan in case you happen to pass on. So that is one of the ways, or one of the reasons that people take up term assurance policies. If you had taken up this type of policy, and unfortunately you are not able to, um, or rather pay it till maturity, there is nothing for you to recover. If you, for example, had taken up a 12-year policy and you paid up to the fourth year, you cannot get what you would call a refund, or maybe the only option available for you is to actually reinstate the policy to maturity, because you by letting it go, you actually maybe haven't even finished paying off the loan. So currently your family members or your beneficiaries are at risk. If anything was to happen to you, then they won't be able to pay for that loan. Yeah. So the only option available for a term assurance policy is to actually reinstate the same. But you can also, like I said earlier, talk to your insurer and try to restructure the policy to at least pay lower premiums for a lower sum assured. The third and most common type of policies being taken up are what you call endowment policies. So endowment policies are really common. They have a term. They come with a term, just like term assurance. They come with a term. Yeah. So they could be for 12 or 16 years. The main difference with term assurance is that you will get something on maturity. So if you pay your premiums up to the 12th year, there will be a sum assured, a certain amount of money that you will get. Endowment policies also pay if death occurs during the period that the insurance, or rather that the policy is active. Yeah. So in between the 12 years, if death did occur, endowment policies would pay. And if, for example, you reached maturity, that is after 12 years, the endowment policies will also pay. You will get a sum assured. Yeah? So these are a bit easier for you to recover something. So if you could, there are few options available for you, definitely. The first one is what you call surrendering the policy. So you could just choose to surrender the policy after the fourth year. And there are things called cash values that have accumulated. Maybe so you will check with your company, see the cash values on the policy, yeah, and you could choose to surrender and take your cash values. At times they could be lower than what you can have contributed, which is something that you should be prepared for, because during that time the insurance company will argue that they have been providing you with a life insurance cover on you, and if anything had happened, they would have paid the whole sum assured. So you will say something, even though it could be lower than maybe what you had contributed. But it also depends on when you dropped out. If you maybe dropped out at the 8th year, you could find that what you received is maybe equal to or more than what you had contributed. So that is one of the options. You could surrender the policy. You could also reinstate the policy if you had let it go. Yeah, and here you will find that you have different options. When it comes to reinstatement, you could do what they call a redate. That is, if you had not paid for a year, then they will move your policy ahead by a year, and you will just continue paying your premiums that like you used to. So that is one of the methods or options available. They could reinstate it by redate. They could also you could also choose to pay off the balances that have accrued, and reinstate your policy by the same, yeah, by paying off the balances that you had. Yeah. So with an endowment policy, there are so many options. They are one of those policies that you're most likely to get something in the end. If you had one, I would encourage you to maybe visit your insurer, look at the different options available. You can also speak with your agent, try and see the different options available for you, and choose the one that is, it makes sense given your current state. There are people who have legitimate reasons to, let a policy go and try to get the money. Maybe that person got fired. It's been a while. They need the money to maybe, take care of themselves. There are legitimate reasons why you might want to surrender your policy. So talk to your agent, talk to your company, see some of the options available. So the very last type of policy that we'll be talking about are what we call unit-linked policies. No, these are policies that are mainly meant for investment. Yeah. So when you pay your premiums, a huge chunk of your premiums will go towards investment. Yeah. So they will invest in a sort of like your money will be pulled together. All those people who have the same policy in the same company, the money will be pulled together, and you have like a sort of investment vehicle where you have managers and people investing your money for you, and the main purpose is to generate a return and a good return for you. Then there will be that amount of money, it won't be a lot, that will be used to buy a life insurance. So with a unit linked policy, you will find that it will offer investment and also some sort of life insurance protection. So unit linked policies also run for a certain duration of time. Yeah? They can go for 12 years, 15 years, 20 years. Yeah? So if you had taken up a unit linked policy, it would be also easier for you to get your money back. So you can simply go to your company and they will be able to tell you the cash values on your policy. If you had, for example, saved up to a certain time, it's important for you to understand that with all the policies, yeah, it depends. It will depend on the amount of time. If you had, for example, contributed less than 1 year, in most companies, it's highly unlikely that you will be able to recover your money. Yeah? But if you had contributed maybe 4 years with a unit linked policy, you could get some money back. Yeah, simply visit your company and check on the cash values on that policy, and you can either choose to surrender. Yeah, you can also choose to reinstate. If you haven't paid it for some time, you can choose to reinstate it. Like I said, when you are reinstating, there are two options. You can choose to reinstate by redating it or by just paying the accrued balances. So you definitely have options when it comes to unit-linked policies. Yeah. So those are the four different types of life insurance policies that you will find in the market, depending on what you have, yeah, or what you took out. There will be options available. Like I said, with whole life and term assurance, there is no likelihood that you will recover anything that you had contributed. With an endowment and a unit linked policy, there are some very good options available for you, so you should follow up. One thing you could probably do, there's something called a policy document. When you took up that insurance policy, you could have been issued a policy document by either your uh, insurer or maybe your agent. So try and go through the policy document, see what type of policy that you signed on to. If you do not understand the same, you can also talk to your lawyer. It's a contract, so you can talk to your lawyer. They will be able to explain. But one of the easiest thing is to simply visit your insurer, and they will be able to explain the type of policy that you have and the options available for you. Now, for those people who really have issues that cannot be sorted out by their insurer, cannot be sorted out by their agent, yeah, you can think of talking to the IRA. These are the regulators. The regulator is located in Upper Hill, and I believe that they have numbers are available. I'll try and put them on the screen for you. But one of the easiest thing to do is to simply go on your phone, Google, get contact, and call them. Yeah, you can also visit them in Upper Hill, try and explain your case to them. And being that this is their responsibility to safeguard your investment, they will be able to give you a solution forward. But with that, I think you have an idea, or rather, you have a sort of way that you could use to help yourself recover some of the money that you had put in a policy, or you have an idea of what you now need to do with your policy. If you're still stuck, if you still have a problem, you can get in touch with me using the number on your screen. Yeah, and you can also get in touch with me on Facebook, Bima101. You can also get in touch with me on Instagram, Bima101 Kenya. You can also get in touch with me on TikTok, Bima101. So until next time, have a good one.